In this video, we are going to do a walkthrough. This is going to give you a really good overview of what was already there before we started installing the aquifer pipes. It's also going to give you a good overview of the system and how everything connects together. Now this is where the filter feeder pipe is coming out of the house. Now this house is raised, so it's pretty easy to go underneath there and do the diversion. And you can see how we did all that in a video. Just check out our video on our website. This, of course, is going into the filter. Now these are actually two totes stacked on top of each other. You'll see that in our other videos on how to build one. This is the filter and this is the surge tank. And down here is called the feeder header pipe. Now the customer didn't care so much about the filter box being on the side of the house, because as you can see, it's on the side of the house between the wall of the neighbor and his house. Now he decided not to bury the feeder header pipe because nobody's going to be back here on this side of the house. But if you are going to bury it, make sure it's about 1 or 2 inches of topsoil on top of it. So it'll be about 4 inches deep. Now if you're going to be burying this pipe and people are going to be walking on it, you are going to have to go a little bit deeper and you're going to have to pack it in. One thing to take in consideration, this is gravity flow. So you're going to have a slope going from where the filter box is up to the front of the house. Now the slope doesn't have to be a lot. It just has to be a little bit. This is gravity flow and the gravity will pull it to the front of the house. But believe it or not, most houses are higher in the back and they slope to the front lawn. Now if your house is different and the back of the house is actually lower than the front, you will need to use a sump pump. Now we have videos on our website on how to build a sump pump. Now back there is the filter, and then right there you can see the feeder pipe. It's going underground right there, and then it's coming out right here. The customer already put in one aquifer pipe. You can see it right there. It's been feeding his yard. He did it in sections because he wanted to wait till the other part of the yard became softer. What some people will do, they'll install the feeder pipe and then he attached the hose to the end of the pipe so that it would water the lawn. He just put the hose right on top of the lawn. Sometimes they just let the pipe come straight to right there and then they just let it stop right about here and it just floods the yard with shower water. And they do that again just to soften up the yard. It's a way of using your shower water instead of a precious tap water to soften up the ground. One thing to take in consideration, see how it's going into the ground right there? And then it comes out right here. Notice that it's higher than the actual trench. And the reason why that is because when you tee off on the aquifer pipes, you need pressure. You need what's called a head. And that's going to fall down like a waterfall, creating pressure that's going to push the water into the aquifer. And again, this is all gravity flow. So this is the header pipe coming this way. Some people call it the main line. And this aquifer pipe going this way. I'm going to back up so you get a really good perspective. Again, this is the header pipe here, and this is where the aquifer pipes go this way. One thing to know about the trenches here on the aquifer pipes. For a lawn, it's recommended to be 3 feet on center. So right here in the center of these 2 trenches, another one's going to go right down the center of these 2. The reason why they don't do all the trenches at once is because you need room to put the dirt. Now it's very important to put the same dirt back into the trenches. If you mix different types of dirt, the water doesn't transfer from one type of dirt to the next. So it's very important to use a native dirt right back into the trench. So a lot of people do, they lay the aquifer pipes in different phases. So right here in front of the house, there is actually already an aquifer pipe. He has done this about 4 months ago. You can actually see a hole right here where the aquifer pipe is. It's running like this. He did that on his first phase. And now we're working on the second phase. And then there's going to be a third phase where he puts the last aquifer pipe down the center between those trenches. So you don't have to do them all at the same time. Now, if you wanted to do all this in one weekend or in a quicker time, you lay these in first, and then you fill in the trenches, and then you start digging your next one. We do that a lot with a lot of our projects. We do it all in one weekend. One thing to note here is if you're looking at these trenches, they're not perfectly straight. One thing is, for the aquifer pipe, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight, but we generally get them a little bit straighter than this. We have other videos on how to trench. Watch those videos. We go into great detail on how we use spikes, we use plumbing ropes, and those ropes will help you get almost exactly 1 foot in depth and also pretty darn straight. So watch the other videos for that. All right, I hope this gave you a good overview of the system, of how it looks before we start installing the aquifer pipes, where all the pipes are going to run. It gives you a good idea on how simple these systems are and how easy they are to install. All right, we'll see you on the next videos.